Peace, 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 peace. We enter in by saying peace because we truly do believe in positive energy always creating elevation, man.
Absolutely.
We really do believe that. We've all collectively shared uh so many different things over the years, and some, were just crazy things that we saw happening around us with people, places, and things. But there was an emphasis on coming back to peace, finding that peace within with one another as brothers. So again, man, we enter in by saying peace and we exit out by saying peace because that's truly what we strive for, man. We strive for real peace. So it's just not a cool saying. Like we all love hip hop. All three faces that you see on here, we love music. We were raised in the culture, but it's a real thing when we say, man, we truly seek peace.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
man, I'm grateful tonight because again, when you look at this screen, you see two individuals sitting next to me, man, that you consistently know if I hear that individual ever speak, it's going to be on a level, man, to where uh, there's going to be learning gained in some capacity and form of fashion. So I'm a learner as well, and I can sit here and take good copious notes, think, go to bed, lay down, wake up in the morning and think about the things that these brothers bring to the table. And we're just grateful, man, for everybody that's come on with us over the last 4 or 5 nights. Um, Man, you're talking about some conversations, man, after the fact
Yeah.
that it's just too powerful. So again, man, just please know out there, man, that we love you. You know what I'm saying? And we talking for real. Like it's not scripted. We don't have loaded questions and any of that, man. There's no specific, oh, this agenda has to be met outside of us just being honest, being frank, being real with one another. So with that being said, man, Robbie, how you feeling tonight, bro?
Man, I'm feeling blessed and highly favored, man, as usual. God is good all the time, and He's constantly looking in over me and making sure that I'm doing what I need to be doing, long as I'm doing what His will is, man. And it's just great to be sitting here with Lo tonight
Yeah,
and
man.
continuing the celebration of the Born to Risk Veterans Inauguration. And talking about the authors, not just the book itself, but the stories and the men and women behind the stories, man.
Yeah, bro. Oh man. It's so real, it's so raw, it's so unapologetic, man, in terms of just why we did this project in the first place and what we expect to see come from this project as we move forward. And the brother that's in between us tonight, man, Jonathan Lomax, bro, like, come on, man. Like, it's hard sometimes. I'm being 100. We're gonna be 100 tonight. It is hard when you look on this screen, man, and you see individuals such as yourself, Lomax, such as Evans Janvier, BG, Cutno last night, bringing that rawness, that realness. We learned things about Cutno last night that just, man, you have to salute him, man. You have to take your hat off and say, yo, feel you. Yeah, man. And I know same thing tonight, brother. We here to give you that mic. We here to lay flowers at your feet. We're here to put our arm around you and just say, bro, man, we thank you, dog. Like we
Yes,
thank you
sir.
for saying yes, man. We thank you for the brotherhood, the friendships that we've all garnered over decades, man.
Man.
Um, it's real. So without further ado, Jonathan Lomax, how are you feeling tonight, our good brother? What's on your heart, bro?
What's up? What's up? So, I'm gonna answer that question two ways. The general question, when somebody asks a man, any man, the first thing that comes out, which is automatic, I'm all right.
Yeah,
All right.
That's what we always
I'm all
say.
right. Yeah, I'm all
But
right.
the real answer is I'm fighting. I'm fighting, man. I'm fighting to keep my head up. I'm fighting to keep my head at the game. Man, these weapons that are formed against me are coming, but they're
Yeah.
not prospering, but they coming. I ain't gonna lie to you. They own it.
Yeah.
But outside of that, man, what the one thing I can say is I'm grateful more than
Yeah.
anything else to be able to still have the withal and the power and the will to stand against the enemy and to stand against the weapons that do come against me and to stay and wake up every day and say, you know what? I didn't die yesterday, so I guess I got another day to do it again to
Yeah,
keep
no doubt.
fighting, bro.
Right.
Boom.
like
Right.
you know, I think they said this at the Frozen Chosen. I said, well, we had 3 regiments in front of us and the water tile backs. Ain't but one way to go.
Forward, man.
Chin up,
Boom.
chest out, baby. Let's do this.
Absolutely.
Oh, you spoke on those principalities. You know, we see it. We're not blind fighting principalities, bro. You know,
Yeah.
we're all fighting them, man. And I need your help tonight, man, because man, your perspective on how we navigate fighting these principalities, bro, it's paramount. So let's open it, man. Like I could rest assured someone's watching right now, and they may not understand that difference between that spiritual fight and the carnal fight, you know, the natural fight, what we see with our eyeballs. It's a lot of unseen things that you have to be fortified in the spirit in order to understand. Thoughts, fellas?
Absolutely.
Man. Go ahead, Lo.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. One of the first things you need to do before you can even fight a battle, bro, is be real and true to yourself.
Yeah.
You cannot look at yourself in the mirror because if you lie to yourself, power has already gotten you. It's already defeated you. It's when you accept your truth on who you are, where you are, and how you are, and then be able to navigate that. That's the first key right there. I tell my son this all the time. If he sees this, he'll say, "Hey, Dad." Well, when I tell him, I say, "Hey, son, what's the first rule?" He said, "Get past step 1." get,
Yes.
get past step 1. Step 1 is being true to you first. If you're not true to yourself, know what your faults are. Know what your strong points are. Know what skeletons you got in the closet. Know what demons you got on your back. Know where your strong side is. Know whose power you're relying on, and
Right.
know whom's you are. Because as long as the enemy is still coming at you, you ain't been defeated yet. It's when he leaves you alone that you have a problem.
Absolutely. And we ain't talking about religion either. We're talking about
No,
spirituality.
spirituality.
So a
yes.
lot of people might get turned off and they get out there. Oh, here they go. They're thumping the Bible again. We're all about, religious texts and whatnot, but we're talking about principalities are things that are ungodly forces that are unseen that come against us. You can call it Murphy's Law. You can call it the monkey on your back. Whatever the metaphoric terminology is for it. But the bottom line is lives. And life happens to all of us, man. And these things that happen to us, we're ashamed of. Our egos kick in and we don't want to tell the other people that we're struggling. So that's what we're talking about tonight. And the courage of pushing through those principalities and trying to figure out through other people's lessons how we can achieve our full potential while life is still attacking us.
Absolutely. And one of the things you said, shame is one of the biggest powers and principalities that you have to fight against. But once again, I'll go back to the first thing I said. When you live in your truth, shame has no power over you. Because if you already know what I am, I already know you. There is nothing you can say about me at 51 years old that I have not already accepted by myself.
Yes.
That means that you could come in and say, well, I heard you did. Okay, I knew this already. So what do you want me to do? That doesn't stop me from opening my mouth and speaking my truth. And just because I'm in a pile of sugar honey iced tea, that doesn't mean I can't help somebody else out of a pile of sugar honey iced tea. Because sometimes when we're in a fighting hole together, we find pleasure in pain. We find joy in pain. When it's raining and we're in that 6x6 or that 3x3, and I'm sitting there next to my brother and we knee high in dirt and mud, and it sucks. It sucks. It sucks. We're going to sit there and crack some joke that's inappropriate just to laugh it through. But you know
Yes.
what? At least I got my brother right here, and we in this thing together. So we're going to figure out a way out of here together.
Yes.
And a lot of people forget that, man.
In life, you
In
know,
life, yes.
in circumstances, and if you got a brother, sister, mentor, leader, you know, it's easy to say, okay, this is the natural thing. So we clean together, we get through the obstacle. But life itself is an obstacle. So what team are we surrounding ourselves with on a day-to-day basis, year to year, month to month, to help us negotiate these obstacles and reach our max potential?
You got to have real people around you, people who are not going to, what we would say, like my therapist, tell me things I need to know, not things I want to hear.
Yes.
And things I need to know is the truth. If I'm out of pocket, like we say, if the circle is here and I'm supposed to be here, but I'm way over here in the northwest corner.
Yeah, you got to get me back on target.
Get me back on target, bro. Because if my side alignment is not, no, but you know what though? It's one of those things that when you quiet yourself, and I'm not going to say you can eliminate your distractions, but minimize your distractions, because distractions is one of the powers and principalities too. We use our distractions to keep us from facing the truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
We use whether the distraction is alcohol, whether it's drugs, whether it's porn, whether it's going to a club, whether it's desensitizing ourselves, any other kind of way, we use those distractions to keep us from facing the truth.
The reality
of it. And guess what? Reality, it's not going to change just because you got a distraction. It's still floating around waiting for you to come full circle. The air traffic controller is still sitting there saying, keep flying around. He's going to come around sooner or later.
Yeah. Absolutely. Man.
The enemy uses some of the most just grimy tactics, bro. Like,
oh, absolutely.
No matter how you see it, dog, if you're dealing and you can't pick up the phone and call that individual, you know, and say, hey man, I'm jacked up right now, bro. This is what I'm dealing with. You know, Robbie said it the other night. A lot of times we struggle, bro. Whether that's veteran, you know, civilian, black, white, a lot of men struggle with just being open and honest.
Absolutely.
I can honestly say, man, I'm open and honest with you too, and many of our other brothers. You know what I mean? How do y'all feel about the individual right now, man, that's straight up and down, like, bro, I don't want to relinquish the things that I'm going through for that fear of judgment, for that fear of, you know, I just don't want to be seen like that, because we in this era now where it's about how I'm seen, how I'm viewed, you know, how I'm accepted. What would you two say? And I'm not interviewing you too. It's just things that's on my heart, brother. I just want to build on it, hear from your perspective. What do you say to that individual, man, that's like, yo, I'm going to take this to the grave. I'm going to keep burying myself. I'm going to keep letting these principalities compound and compound and compound until it may turn into something that none of us wants to see. What's your thoughts, man?
Well, I've learned when you reach that threshold that you're talking about, when you have that shame or that ego kicks in and you don't want anybody else to know what you're going through, it's because one or two things have happened up to that point. Either you surrounded yourself with other good men and women that you can lean on in these times of controversy and adversity, or you have not. And if you have not, then you haven't created the circumstances where you can let your guard down and be vulnerable enough to another person, another human being, a mentor. It don't even have to be a mentor. It might be a peer, but somebody that you could open up to, that you trust, that is judgment free, and it's going to give you that same. It don't have to be a therapist like Lo was talking about. It could be one of your best friends, one of your brothers, just like the three of us sitting here on the screen, and many more of us. But these relationships take years. They take decades to develop. Wow. So if you don't have them, you need to start developing them. And if you're sitting at home and you really don't have them and you're alone, you need to do what Lo said, and you need to get some professional help, or a mentor, or a coach, or a therapist, or somebody that's going to help you see your way through the obstacle so you can be successful on the other side. And then as you do that, you need to start building these relationships as soon as possible.
Yeah, bro.
I'm gonna add to that and say one of the strongest individual things that we all have, whether we know it or not, is belief. Whether that
Yes.
belief is in ourselves, belief in the higher power, belief in the universe, whatever it is belief. So if you can believe, because remember, this may be translated in different texts, different ways, but the way that I believe it, power of life and death lies within the tongue. What you give energy to,
Yes.
you give life to. So if you say to yourself, you know what, today I'm tired of being sick and tired. That's an old phrase that old ladies used to say back in the day. Baby, when you tired of being sick and tired,
Fannie
you're
Lou
gonna be
Hanger.
tired of being sick and tired. So
Shout out to Fannie Lou.
there you go. When you sit there and you look at yourself and you say, okay, let's say if you had all of your faculties about you. You walking, you talking, and you got in a car accident. Now they're telling you may not ever walk again. You can look at yourself and take that defeat and say, you know what, I'm gonna go with the cards that somebody gave me. Or you're gonna look at yourself and say, you know what, I know this is gonna be an arduous, painful, debilitating journey, but I'm going to walk again. I'm gonna look myself in the mirror and say, you will walk again. And as long as you keep saying that to yourself and you keep believing it, sooner or later, your body's going to adapt it. Because the mind, this thing up here is it's for us to only be able to access, as they say, 10% of it. Just imagine what's in that other 90. Can you imagine what's in that other 90?
I imagine it every day. You know what I'm
Try
saying?
to tap into it every day.
Every day, bro. We all trying to. Yeah.
The word says he made us a little lesser than the angels. And a lot of people don't look at that aspect and say, what does it mean to be made a little lesser than the angels? What is your potential?
What's calcifying us, gentlemen? What's calcifying that pineal? What is it?
Man.
Truth has been buried so deep, man, that you need a huge shovel. You need an excavator to get to the real truth. And people are so disdained with trying to get through and shovel through all the BS first. I got to get through 20 feet of BS. And by the time I'm down on my last foot, I'm tired, man. Even though you got 1 foot to go before you get to the truth, 19 feet of BS, bro. You talking graphite, you talking sand, you talking hard melted molten rock, and then that last bit that it's only water. That last feet is only water. You just gotta stick your hand through it, but you so tired, man. That CFT, when that dude you had to carry was 250 and you 175, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's so true, bro.
Lomax, you wrote in this chapter for Born to Risk, Veterans Inaugural Edition, you know, things that we all learned, knew about you, bro. Expound for the listeners out there, man, on where your heart was when you first started putting pen to paper for your chapter. You got what, chapter 13, correct?
The path less chosen.
Path less chosen. Where was your heart, mind, and spirit, man, when you start putting the pen to the pad?
There could have been a lot of stuff that I could have wrote about. I almost died 7 times. I've been a part of some amazing things while I was in that I should have not even been included in. But because I pushed myself and I challenged myself, I got to. But the reason I wrote about what I wrote about, which is me going to a general court martial on my 18th year. I was 17 years in at the time. 17 years in as a gunnery sergeant, as an E7, with hopes and dreams of being a first sergeant, possibly a sergeant major one day. And all of it came to a screeching halt, bro. And I had a lot of incidents in the Marine Corps that could have stopped me. But that one in particular, after having had 17 years of a successful career, to get told at 12 midnight one day, if you don't take this plea, man, you're gonna go to Leavenworth and you're gonna lose your son. I wasn't having it. I said, if this is what God has for me, then I'm gonna have to face it, because I'm not running from nothing or nobody. And said, you know what? Of all the things that I couldn't have written about, I think because it was me and my son, that's what made it pivotal. My oldest son, I got 5 boys, but 6 technically. But, because it was me and my son at the time, and, I was trying to be the best example for him that I could be. I wanted to show him that no matter what, son, no matter what comes at you, you do not run, you do not tuck tail and hide. You face it, chin up, chest out, and whatever the consequences is, you deal with it. And either you believe or you don't. And I wholeheartedly had all my faith in God during that time. And they tried to run us through the rake, dog. It was a year of people looking at you funny, telling you were disgraced. It was in the Marine Corps times, man.
Right.
The Marine Corps times, bro.
It was, bro.
So I think that to me, because a lot of people had questions about everything. And it was always, well, if y'all wasn't guilty, then why would they do this? Well, there's a lot of things we could say. We know that when some officers leave commands, they do a mad sweep of everything to make themselves look better for the next rank, whether it's right or not. Whether it's right or not, no matter who gives them advice, because it's not about you or their command, it's about them and their career. So this was one of those situations where we had an outgoing commander, and he said, you know what? Mind you, internally, we know some senior leaders who was about as dirty as a mechanic's fingernails after he started taking out 3 years of grease off of a truck. But you know what? We couldn't throw shade on them because they were directing it towards us. And everybody was looking like, man, y'all really gonna send all these motivated, and I'm not saying anybody was innocent or guilty. I'm not, but it's the way it happened. It's the way it happened. And it made you feel like it wasn't about you anymore. They only cared about themselves. It wasn't about or it wasn't about the fact that we was a family. It wasn't about anything. Y'all said last night when RC was on, don't nobody care. Don't nobody, after you take that uniform off, don't nobody care about what you did. So at that moment, I had to say, this is going to define how people see me from here on out. And I watched a lot of people get thrown under the bus during that time. And when it was my time to come, I was like, man, what am I going to do? And I looked myself in the mirror and I said, God, I don't know what you have meant for me, but if it's meant that I lose my career this way, then so be it. But I'm standing 10 toes down on this. And they either gonna set me free or they're gonna convict me. But either way, I will not bow my head for nobody.
Hey, bro, I just want you to know tonight too, man, that was probably one of the biggest cases across the Marine Corps, man, and modern times, you know what I mean, from 90 on. And you're right, it was on the Marine time. And everybody that was associated, we had ties with in some way, form, or fashion, and some of them may see this, and hey, I'm sure all of them are moved on with their lives. back in the civilian sector of life and doing what they do. And shout out to each and every one of you. You know who you are out there. But I'll be honest when I say too, Lomax, like seeing you go through that, some of those other individuals, we all felt like we were going through it as well.
Oh man,
You know what I
yes,
mean?
indeed. And I appreciate each y'all, every one of y'all being in our corner, bro. Because I'm telling you, I couldn't have done it without the support group that I had.
Man,
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, like that was a hard stretch. You know what I mean? Because when you start to look at it from that lens of like these individuals' career can literally be over. You know what I mean? Like, and we all know it. Somebody out there right now sitting back eating some licorice, like, man, shut the hell up, Clay. You know, every Marine knows when they get on the footprints, every Marine knows, you know, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. We all do. However,
yes.
you were in an environment that was a temporary environment.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a permanent environment for you. You was there temporarily at officer candidate school. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? So once that tenure was to end after the summer month, you were going back to your norm. You know what I mean? So just like a fitness report, the worst fitness report I ever received was at officer candidate school. From an individual that observed me. You know, he observed me from a lens that was just like, bro. And I remember sitting down with him and saying, sir, are you freaking serious right now? Like, I mean, sir, if I suck, I know I suck. But I know right now I don't suck.
I don't. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he told me out of his mouth, well, I'm comparing you to all the other gunnery sergeants that's in my normal MOS that I hold in high regards. And man,
because they share the same MOS.
I pray if he sees this. He knows who he is. Dog, I smoked dude. You know, I smoked him on the spot. And I'm not making this about self. However, I understand, you know, we saw things there that was just like, bro, like this hit different. It's like, y'all remember the old program high school is going to do upper bound at the university?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They call it upper bound. It was the same kind of thing for us being in that environment. It's like an upper bound. You know, you're only there temporary. But man, when your career's on the line, who's really for you? You know,
I was
what I mean?
actually permanent personnel at OCS.
Absolutely, you was, and several others. You know, so again, I mean, it's for us coming there temporary, man, and seeing that happen.
And that's crazy too, because I originally tried to do AMOI duty, and they wouldn't give it to me. But you know, I say this, I go back and I look at, I have no regrets in my life, man.
Right.
God did what he did and allowed me to be in the places and the things that happened to me for a reason, because everything, good, bad, or indifferent, has shaped me into the person, into the man that I am. All of the, I have to accept it all. I cannot look at my life and say, oh, well, this part of my life, I'm not going to talk. No, I have to be responsible and accept every aspect of my life, the good, the bad, and the indifferent, and say, you know what? All of it resides on me.
Yeah.
It was all on my shoulders, whether I did something I was supposed to do or whether I didn't. The responsibility was mine and mine alone.
Hey, man, I respect that. I really do, man, because that's a moment in your life, you know what I mean, that you overcame, you superseded, you took the light bulb lesson from it.
Absolutely.
And you applying it not only today, but since you've been applying it, bro. You apply it with your children. You apply it, you know, with your spouse. You apply it, you know, the job you was working, you know, all the different aspects. You apply it with me. So that's what brings us here tonight, man, because speaking that truth, to be honest, Lomax, bro, we have seen countless times over and over again. I had individuals to tell me They didn't want to be a part of this project, and I respect it. I respected that. Like, okay, cool. I'm just offering. I still love you. Yeah, yeah. Everything's peace, peace. But it was sort of kind of the conversations that was around. y- You know, I'm afraid of what people are going to think about. And that was one that I really had to look at. Oh man, look who done jumped in. Man, I really had to look at, you know, I had to
There
look
he
at it, man.
is.
What up, Stu?
What up, Stu?
Yo,
Man,
what's
I
up?
I
I
knew you
had
couldn't
to,
stay away.
yeah, no doubt. I had to
Nah, you
look
know
at
what?
this, Lomax,
Yeah.
just, just from the standpoint of an individual saying to me, Clay, I'd love to be in this project with you guys because I know all of you. I know who you are. You guys and gals are this, and you've proven over the years who you are. To me, this is exactly what the individual said. And the individual said, but a particular time in my career, right now, I don't want that person that had a lot to do with the particular situation in my career to look at me now and almost think that, oh, he thinks he's got it all figured out now. Oh, now he's this or now he's that. When, you know, I really know who you are. And then, for me, that was like, man, wow, like I could only think about from here to there, prodigal and back.
Yeah. Yeah.
In any individual that has put their life on paper, like you gentlemen have literally put your life down on paper, whether that was via blog, newsletter, your own book, writing anthologies. When I wrote the forward for this veteran piece, gentlemen, it was difficult, man. It's probably the most difficult writing I've ever done was the forward for that book because I didn't feel worthy, man. In the words in which I could try to convey to demonstrate who you gentlemen and ladies that's a part of this and the other veterans, even the ones I didn't serve with, who they really are. So again, I mean, I just applaud you tonight once again. And there's other individuals that's a part of this journey that their career didn't end how they wanted it to end, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And they still had the fortitude and the courage, the vision, the wherewithal, the foresight to say, you know what, man, that's then. This is now. And I can
Yes.
recreate my story now. And nobody can tell my story like I can freaking tell it, bro.
Absolutely.
That if anybody listening tonight, man, please take that away. Please sit back tonight, dog. Whatever you're doing, smoking an L, sipping, watching football, whatever it is you do, man. If you could literally just say, man, there I was without ammo. At least, yo, man, just said, yo, I'm going to write it. I don't know how it's going to come out, but I'm going to write it. So, Stu, I'm sorry, sir. I don't want to be taking the mic. How are you feeling tonight, Stu? You see who we got on with us tonight. What's your thoughts, family?
Man, I'm good, man. I feel like I'm late.
Nah, you're good, bro.
I thought we were gonna start at 7, but nah, man, I'm great, bro. Glad to be on with the Orcas and Jonathan Lomax.
Man,
Lomax.
Max, bro.
Yes.
sir.
Let
But you was
me
just talking. Go ahead.
let me do something for all three of you gentlemen. I'm gonna go around the panel and I'm gonna start with you, Rob. My brother, a retired sergeant major, man. I would be remiss if I don't give you all of your flowers right now, because the type of brother I am, man. Listen, people don't understand the group of people that you fall in being a retiree. You three, all retired, is E9s. And for that, I want to tell you, and melanated men who have distinction, who have stood in the midst of not only doubt, but disrespect, and still held your head high with that uniform that we wear, the Eagle Global Anchor that we earned, and you did it with excellence and tenacity and veracity. So,
Wow.
Rob, you retired Sergeant Major. My brother Stu, you retired Master's Gunnery Sergeant, correct?
Indeed.
And of course, my brother, T.O., you retired Sergeant Major as well, man. I've watched your guys' careers. And although God didn't give me, and I'm going to say this because it was a blessing and a gift, he gave me the grace to retire as a gunnery sergeant, knowing that if I had any more rank on me, I probably would have gotten in more trouble. So I'm gonna be real, because my mouth was crazy back then, man. Because I really embodied. Once they put that rocker on me, I told my first sergeant, I said, the Marine Corps effed up, right, by giving me staff sergeant. I picked up staff sergeant at 7 years and 9 months. I was on track to be a sergeant major. And somehow he said, look, I need you to slow down. And he slowed me down. But what I'm going to say to you three brothers, man, you are in a very small group of professionals that have gone through one of the hardest branches of service that we have today in our today's military. You all have dedicated over 20 plus years of your life. Between the three of you, that's over 60 years. Over 60 years of excellence, of hard work, of melanated pride, and of a fierceness that can't nobody take away from you. I am not only honored, my brothers. I applaud each and every one of you individually because of the men you are, man. And knowing that God knew I needed some strong pillars in my life to hold me up when I'm weak. I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate your brotherhood, and I appreciate your honesty and loyalty to me and what we do, bro. So
wow.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you,
man.
Yeah, bro. Thank you,
man.
That's powerful.
Hearing that from you, and knowing how each of us had a impact on you or played a role in how your career, how your life has played out, it really means a lot. So thank you, brother, for saying that, man.
No thanks, man. You earned it,
bro. We don't take it for granted. And again, for folks tuning in, one thing we hope you could see is the genuine love and care that we have for each other throughout these relationships that have been built over the course of decades.
Yeah.
These aren't these fly-by-night pop-up things, man.
Absolutely not.
These are genuine, hardcore relationships that we've seen each other reach the highs of the highs, and we've seen each other at our lowest moments.
Fact, bro.
Man, that type of authenticity, man, is very rare, bro. And that's what allows us to be able to get on and share these stories, not only in the books and the work, but also in the street when we're working with our mentees and when we're mentoring and working with our peer groups, man. That authenticity, we talked about why somebody's so scared that they fade back and they try to keep this polished image when they get online. They don't want people to see who they really are. Maybe not out of shame, but out of the fear of that other person's opinion. Maybe they might exclude me from their network. Maybe I might not get the next business deal. Well, that lack of authenticity is a cage, man. And that
absolutely
it robs you of freedom for you not being able to walk in a room and not shrivel and lower yourself and talk a little bit more quieter. You should be able to walk in any room and be the person you are. And if the people around you can't accept that, then maybe you need to get a new team. Because you're not going to develop relationships like this, being around people that are judgmental and that you have to alter who you are at the authentic rate, at the authentic self. If you have to alter that to be accepted, then you need to get a new team.
Yeah. I always say too, man, like, when me and Ross Blaine was first talking early on, and I explained to Ross,
Shout
boss
out to Ross.
Yeah, I explained to Ross, man, like, Ross, I don't see the end state per se, but I feel in my spirit that, man, I know 100% the best leaders I've ever met in my life, I've been with for the last 2 decades.
Yes.
you know, and some of the most phenomenal, amazing individuals, bro. That man, bro, I'll go to the grave saying these individuals, dog, I'll stand 10 toes with them anywhere in the world. I could stand on any stage. I could get on any show or whatever. The Price is Right with Bob freaking Barker. You put me on there with y'all cats. Hey, I could look Bob Barker in the face and say, man, these cats is it, Mr. Barker. Um, so again, man, I
Heavenly
told
shout outs to
Ross,
Bob Barker, man. Heavenly shout
indeed,
out.
Right.
shout out to Bob Barker. Yo, I told Ross, I said, dog, I sit back and I watch these NBA podcasts. I watch these NFL podcasts, man. And these dudes making wild money, dog, millions of dollars. They get, you know, it's cool. It's entertaining, man. I said, but dog, like, what about us, Ross? I said, dog, this whole when you leave the Marine Corps is just over. Like we've been saying, bro. Like nobody really does care, bro.
Yeah.
And you have to take that for what that's worth, man, and understand. But you know what? We care, bro, and
Absolutely.
we can continue this legacy, bro. We can continue this leadership. We can continue this brotherhood that we have. And how do we do that? And again, I said a million times. I shared it with each one of you gentlemen, and each one of you gentlemen was like, "No doubt, To just send me the link, bro. I'll come on and we'll talk our talk, bro."
Yeah.
And Stu was the first cat to say, man, this is really therapeutic, T.O. Like
Yes.
many of us are missing this, bro.
Yeah.
We're missing coming together as family and speaking our speak. So what's your thoughts on that, man? Do y'all feel these things are really therapeutic, man? What do y'all think?
Absolutely. One of the things I want to say, bro, is we have one of the most powerful networking groups in the world, but we do not utilize it. We do. If we can get past our freaking egos and get past the perception of what other people are going to think and just be like Nike and just do it.
Yeah.
Ain't no sense. Listen, bro, when we all was on the street, bro, when you tell that recruit, hey, recruit, go do something. A matter of fact, on the tower, when you over in Weapons Field Train Battalion, that joker get on the tower for the first time and you tell him to lean back.
No doubt.
and you see that example when that drill instructor slams against, bam. And you know, and his mind going, man, I don't want to do that. Or when he has to jump from the pool, and jump into the water. And they're scared of heights, man. How do you I remember my first jump. My first jump out of a C-130, man. I remember seeing a young lady who was extremely pale. She was a Army cadet. Extremely pale. The cadre was trying to hit her on there, and we was on the 30-foot swing, PLF swing. And he dropped her as soon as she stepped off, man. I mean, he never held on to the rope at all. He listen.
Oh man,
Soon as she stepped off, he let the rope go. Imagine dropping 30 feet.
Oh
30
man.
feet, bro. I'm gonna tell you, I'm getting to the story though. She hit the ground so hard, man, and she was a frail little thing. She got up, she limped off. And no. She got up, she limped off. I saw her later on that night, man. Her whole ankle from her calf to the bottom of her foot was purple, right?
Wow.
Now, if you get hurt in jump school, they send you back home once you go to medical.
Yeah.
Bro, she wrapped that thing up in an ace bandage. And she said, I'm not going home. Now, mind you, I'm a United States Marine. I might be a Lance Corporal at the time, but I'm a Marine. This is a frail little Caucasian girl in the Army who's trying to become an officer. If this chick jumps out of this airplane, I'm gonna die jumping out this airplane. Okay, I don't care, because if she can have enough tenacity after she just got dropped from the 30-foot swing tower and she's still planning on jumping, I said, I have no excuse as a Marine. None.
That's right.
And the thing about it is a lot of our Marine brothers and sisters are walking in fear. God did not give you a spirit of fear.
Yeah. fearfully and
Bottom
wonderfully
line.
made,
And
bro.
I'm done with that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next person.
All right. So, did you guys talk about chapter 13 in the Born to Risk book yet?
Just a
A
little bit.
little bit. Yeah.
Okay. So, forgive my tardiness. I
No,
thought
you're
I
good,
was
bro.
early.
You're good. You're
All
good.
right. So, here we go. Path less chosen. Lomax, right? Chapter 13. Born to Risk. You see it here, right? First sentence. Now, attention gainer. Will Rogers once said, it takes a lifetime to build a reputation, but you could lose it in a minute.
Mm.
Man, there are a
Wow.
lot of good attention gainers in this book. That's one opening sentence that stands out for a number of reasons, because I know the story, I know the situation, but give us some insight, bro. How did you come to that as the opening to the chapter in the Born to Risk book?
I'm a nerd. No, real talk. I'm a science nerd and I'm a student of life, man. I truly feel like there are lessons in everything that we see and
Yeah.
take in. And um it's a true statement, man. It's a true statement across any board or anybody who plans on being anything more than just a bump on the wall. You can go your entire life, and especially in the day that we are right now, where it's all about perception. You could be
Mm.
absolutely innocent, but the accusation of a crime or a wrongdoing can set your whole course and career down the drain if you don't have the intestinal fortitude to stand within the fire and to come out on the other side.
Wow.
Man.
Now, again, for those of you that have kind of followed the series this week, Brian Gordon was a clear example of standing in your truth amongst a really heavy accusation
Yeah.
and saying, you know what? I'm not compromising. I'm not taking a plea. I am going to stand on my truth because what I did is what I said.
Right.
And he had to trust the process. And it absolutely was a path less chosen. So I saw the tie between what you wrote about, Lomax, and what Brian Gordon was talking about. And here recently, we just show this book that I've been reading. This is a book, Born Ready, The Mixed Legacy of Lynn Bias.
Any bias, bro. Yes, sir.
Yo, so if you're curious and if you want to understand what Jonathan Lomax said about it takes a lifetime to build a reputation, but you can lose it in a minute.
In a second. Yes,
There
sir.
are few examples greater than this example right here. And if you know the story of Lynn Bias and how great Lynn Bias was, I'm talking about in comparison on a Michael Jordan level. The guy was that dominant.
Indeed.
6'8", wingman. He could jump out the gym. One night of cocaine. Everything that guy worked for from the time he was a kid to the time that he got drafted number 2 overall by the Boston Celtics, gone. Legacy mixed. And that kind of ties into what you wrote about in regards to reputation and how it could be gone in the snap of a dime.
Man. There's a book called The 48 Laws of Power. And the book itself is really about Robert Greene, and he's talking about your reputation is everything, guard it with your life.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't think we do that enough, man. We don't take our reputation into account.
Yeah.
Nor do I don't think people take, because we're in a society now where all the lines are blurred and mixed. The line between men and women, the line between children and parent, the line between just and unjust. All those lines have been blurred now. And that's by design, to be honest with you, because once those lines become blurred, chaos has an opportunity to reign freaking crazy in any atmosphere that it's in. Chaos resides and wait for order to be disrupted so it can come in and do what it's designed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somehow chaos managed to find a way into your career.
Absolutely.
And I'll never forget. I went to OCS to work one summer, and things had transpired with you and several other individuals. And we were in the club, in the E Club on base Thursday night, like normal. And you and I had a conversation. And it was like I could feel your need for somebody just to listen to you.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah,
Because when we checked in for OCS that summer, one of the things that we were told in the brief, those Marines that are under investigation, stay away from them.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact, bro.
Yeah.
I said, well, I've known Lomax for a number of years, regardless what he was accused of. I thought we were still innocent until proven guilty in this country, and I'm not going to abandon the brother like that and leave him out there feeling isolated when everybody is gathered at the club, interacting and having a good time. And then he's walking around with this cloud over his head. And it's almost like he was contagious or toxic. No, you don't want to be seen with Lomax because you're going to get caught up in that investigation. I'm like, man, bro, I ain't got nothing to do with that investigation. All I see is a brother right here who's been accused of something, and it ain't my place to say he's guilty or innocent.
Yeah.
It's my obligation to show this brother some love, probably in a moment where there was so much uncertainty surrounding everything that went down and what the ramifications of that were going to go down. Do you remember those talks, Lomax?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't know if you knew I have a TBI, man. I got caught in 2 combat explosions, man. It kind of my memory. Real talk though, my memory is really sometimes a hit or miss. Some things I can remember, and some things I can't. I don't know if it was like a protective thing where once I had a concussion or whatever that, your mind blocks off certain things to keep you protected from remembering that stuff.
Yeah.
And then it comes out. But I tell you, the thing I do remember, and maybe I could be lying to myself on this one, I don't ever remember walking around feeling shamed. I was walking around pissed off more than anything.
Yeah.
I was upset because I knew what I'd given to be a Marine.
Yes.
And for you to come at me with an accusation and no proof, and the way you not only did myself, but the way you did the other brothers, knowing the one thing that bothers me more than anything in leadership is when your feet are just as dirty as mine. If that's the case, but yet and still you wanna make this group an example, but not this group an example.
Yeah.
When leadership is foul, and then leadership covers up their foulness by crapping on the junior Marines below them, that to me, that's why I have a staff sergeant rank on. That's why I have the gunnery sergeant rank on. Because if ain't nobody else gonna say it, I'm gonna say it. You just gonna have to you're gonna have to pin me to the curb, dog.
Yeah.
It's bottom line. I will say it, and I said it in the courtroom, and I say it now. God did not give me a spirit of fear. You put on your pants like the same way I do, one leg at a time.
That's right.
Yeah, bro.
If you think
And
I'm
just
guilty,
to
prove it.
Yeah. What I didn't like was the isolation and ostracizing.
Yeah,
and Eddie Arce.
Man.
He just said it in the comments. What did Eddie say? He was viral. Don't touch him.
Yeah, bro.
And Lomax, bro, we didn't necessarily tell you guys that that's what was told to us. But again, me and T.O., Jonathan Ragland, boarders, all of the guys coming from AMRI duty, going to work OCS that summer, we were warned, do not. And I'm like, nah, we cannot abandon these guys
It's not
based off of
possible.
accusation.
It's not possible, bro.
Go ahead, T.O.
Yeah, I was
That
just
was
gonna
a
say,
long year,
Stu,
bro. I
it's
ain't gonna even lie to you.
Yeah.
That was a long
it's
year.
not possible, man. Like we love these cats. Right, wrong, and indifferent.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times the Marine Corps,
Yes.
we all experienced it, man. It's uh sometimes that it's that toxicity. You know, you see, but we were used to that coming off the depot as well.
Absolutely.
Think about it, dog. Like cat could be out there, Irish pinning in the parade deck, you know, or pushing big red as we
Big
call it
Red.
in you know, down there.
I
It was
definitely
the
pushed
same
Big
thing.
Reds a few times, dog.
It's almost like it was literally almost like a plantation mentality on Brown Field
Man.
because cats is out there, bro, sweeping the whole parade deck. And these are you know, like you said, 14, 15-year Marines.
Yep.
Not saying that if you do something wrong that the crime doesn't fit the bill, yeah, it don't matter how long you've been in, but
Right.
it felt like that plantation effect of you can't talk to them. I remember taking Gatorades out
Man.
to one of the brothers that was on Brown Field on the parade deck by himself, bro.
Yep.
Like literally. And I'm leaving work, going back to the barracks, and I'm like, man, hey, bro, you thirsty? He's like, yeah, man. You know, and sure enough, man, I'm like, hey, bro, take this Gatorade. We love you, bro, regardless of what happens. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Regardless of what happens. Same thing with Nixon. I stood there with Nixon. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my brother. And I looked him in his face and said, hey, bro, right, wrong, or indifferent. Uh, I'm here with you, bro.
We hear him. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why the relationship still to this day, it's a deeper layer of respect because I'm wrong, I'm right. I get treated a certain kind of way, whatever you know, how you look at it.
Mhm.
But
Bro,
it's
recognize
still,
it's real, man. When you
yeah,
if I don't make this claim to too many people, but if I call you my brother and if I say you family, that is not a fly by night convenient type of situation. That means that if you say you need me when it's most inconvenient for me, not for you, when it's
Yeah.
most inconvenient for me and I show up, that's your friend. That's your family. Those are people that really care about you. When it's
Man.
inconvenient for them to
Yep.
show up for you in your inconvenience. I'm gonna
Yep.
say it again, when it's inconvenient for them to show up for you and they still show up, those are your friends. That's your family.
Yeah.
that,
Here's three words that stood out in the chapter: isolation, exhaustion, fear.
mm,
Who would see a brother isolated, exhausted, in fear, drowning, and not throw him a lifeline? Not ask him, brother, can I help you? But that's
There's a lot
exactly
of people.
but that's exactly the tone that was set in that instance. And I'm like, what are we doing? Why are we abandoning these guys or just isolate? Again, it was so perfectly said in the chapter. Isolation, exhaustion, fear. And this is, again, it ties so much into the story of Brian Gordon earlier in the week that we talked about. Everybody's
Yes.
dumping on them. Everybody's piling on the lawyer calling, hey, man, you need to take a plea, bro, because you're looking at some hard time or you're looking at these punitive punishments. But you knowing your truth, you're like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna stand on my word.
Man.
yeah, yeah. As and then like you said, bro, when you think of it from the rank aspect, it's almost like, yo, I'm putting I'm jeopardizing me by standing next to my brother who's ready to get raked over the coals. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? So I think back to Nixon, man. Shout out to Paul Nixon, bro.
Shout out to Nixon.
And it didn't have nothing to do with no race.
Big
It had
eye.
nothing to do. It was nothing to do with no race crap or any of that, bro. The colonel was black. You know what I'm saying? And I remember the colonel. We're all standing there, myself and many other names that, you know, they know who they are out there. We're standing in there, and he looked at Nixon and was just like, "You just put your career in my hands, and it ain't nothing I can do." He's like, "There's nothing I can do to help you, Staff Sergeant."
Mm.
And all of these people that showed up in here to speak on your behalf, they were not there when the decision was made for you to do what it is that you did. But for all of us, it was still like, man, it's hard when you go from that life of Paris Island to that life of Officer Candidate School. And
Different.
something as simple as stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down can get you freaking voided. You know what I mean? Like word is bond. Just something that simple. I think Louis Alicio, bro. Louis Alicio saved my career 33 freaking times on OCS, yo. I mean, it was Louis. It was Louis. You know, Jonathan Borders saved Wilson Jay's career. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's my
so when
man. Shout out to Wilson J.
yeah, when you really look at those dynamics back then, it's real, man. But hey, Lomax, you know, you still retired. You know what I'm saying? Nixon
you know
still
what?
retired. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. When I got to my next command after OCS, I'm gonna tell you something crazy. So I get to the command. I checked in the 2nd Radio Battalion back on Lejeune, where I started from, right around the corner from 2nd Anglico, which was my first duty station back in the Fleet Marine Corps. I was over in Okinawa, came back. First duty station I was with was 2nd Anglico. I said I'll never come back to Lejeune again. And sure enough, my last duty station, I ended up at 2nd Radio Battalion. And I remember the sergeant major that was the sergeant major at the time. He was actually leaving out on deployment. I never met this dude. I come up to him. I caught him when he was getting his stuff together. Hey, Sergeant Major, I'm Staff NCO, just checking in. I wanted to introduce myself to you. He looked at me. He said, I know who you are. And before I even got anything out of my mouth, man, this dude said, I heard you was trying to re-enlist. You can go ahead and forget that. After what you did up there, you ain't gonna make it. And I'm looking like, you don't even know me, man. You have no idea who I am. Why would you even say that? You're supposed to be a Staff NCO 2 ranks higher than me. It ain't like you some superstar. You just 2 ranks higher than me, bro. Really? This is how you come at me? And I was so internally irritated. But I had to take that to the face. But luckily, there was a sergeant major who came behind him. And I hate the fact that I cannot remember this brother's name, man. This dude, he pulled me into the office and he said, hey, Lomax, I heard what the older sergeant major said. He said, but I'm about giving second chances. And if you show me that you're a quality Staff NCO, I'm going to treat you like a quality Staff NCO. And from that day forward, bro, I was like the mouth of 2nd Radio Battalion. If somebody needed some discipline, they came and brought them to me. If they needed to go on a run, they came and brought them to me. If they needed to get squared away, they came and brought them to me. You know, so that just reinforced in me that just because somebody has an opinion about you, that don't mean that's everybody else's opinion about you. Yeah. And you are the individual who gives somebody's opinion power. If they tell you to your face you ain't nothing and you believe it, that's your fault. It's not theirs for saying it. It's your fault for believing it and allowing it to be inside of you. And I didn't believe that. And I didn't treat myself like I was a failure. I treated myself like I was a quality Staff NCO, which is how I ended my career.
Yeah. Here's what I appreciate about you owning what happened and you're very transparent by saying, I was found guilty and issued a punitive letter of reprimand. My career was altered but not destroyed. So if we believe in the God of second chances, think about how bad the world would be, how bad shape the world would be in if a God of second chances never gave any of those same people issuing those reprimands to isolate from those who have, accused of or committed a transgression. Who are we to say that one transgression is beyond the pale?
Yeah, bro.
Whether you're a believer in God or not, right?
Yeah, man.
That's why I appreciate the judges that are in place that know the system is not set up for our success, but they use their position to give people who may have had a bad opportunity a second chance. Man. I appreciate those law enforcement personnel who put on that badge and say, you know what? I understand we have a stigma against us, and not all of us is bad. And they go out and they play ball with the kids, or they go out and they help in their communities. That doesn't cover all of them. I appreciate those people who stood in the checkout counters with our brothers and sisters back in the 60s and said, regardless of how I look, I'm still standing with you, because it's not about the act, it's about the principle. Yes. It's about the principle. You are a human being. Period. Your blood, when it hits the air, is going to oxygenate the same way somebody else's does. Your heart, when the last beat stops, it's going to look the same way when they take it out of your body. There's nothing different internally about you and me. The only thing that's different is this. That's it. Man, the measure of a man is not about how he looks. Man. It's about what he does.
Come on, bro.
That servitude.
Ooh, that's it.
Wow. Man, I think about all the wrongful convictions that take place specifically in this country. People being convicted of doing things that they didn't do, and then people who are convicted of things that they did do. Yeah. Nah, you did it, and you gonna get locked up. But the opportunity to recover, again, when I talked about that cloud that hung over you guys' head during that period of time, people getting out of incarceration still carrying that cloud for a number of years. Absolutely. And we have no better example of that than our brother T.O. Something he did at 16, 17, 18 years old. Yeah. 30 years later, he can't get a second chance. And he talks about it in depth in that book. And if you don't have Coach T.O.'s book, I do encourage you to read it, because it talks about owning why I did what I did. I messed up. I was punished. I recovered. And then after I recovered, I thought everything was gravy. The system was designed not to allow something that a 17-year-old kid did to recover.
Absolutely.
Serving honorably, 23 years in the Marine Corps. Sergeant Major, highly decorated, but you still a felon. And you can't get this kind of job. You can't do this and that. Like, what?
Yeah, bro.
How? Bro, I get so frustrated sometimes when I think about and read these stories, and then I tie the reason why to the system and how it was designed, whether purposely or not intentional at all. But everybody makes mistakes.
Absolutely. It was purposeful.
I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. I had a recruit when I was on the drill field. This kid, I was a senior drill instructor, and I don't even remember this recruit or this Marine's name. He came in overweight. I'm thinking he was like, I don't know, 230 pounds or whatever. But flubber. The boy was flubber. The boy was soft. Okay. And I remember, I think by the second phase, this boy had lost 70 pounds.
Wow.
70 pounds. He had so much weight loss, the skin was just hanging from his body in every
melted
place.
candle wax.
Right. And I remember the series commander at the time wanted to kick him out because he said he had a bad attitude. I said, let me tell you something, sir. This is my platoon. Last I looked, you didn't put on a campaign cover nor a belt, green or black, to train any of these recruits. It is not your decision to kick any of my recruits. Because when I took the oath, I said, look at me. I am your
senior
instructor.
drill instructor.
Yeah.
And me and my drill instructors would do everything to train you.
To
Yep.
become.
Even after some of you have given up on
Giving up on yourself.
Man, woo. Let me tell you something. I looked at Series Commander in his face. I said, you're going to have to get rid of him over my dead body because he ain't going nowhere, sir. And that's with no disrespect and with disrespect. Because I trained this kid, you know, and I put what I had on the line. And guess what? I found out that this was his last resort. The kid was a vagabond. He was homeless. He was homeless, bro. He had nothing else to go back to. This was everything that he needed. And I wish I remembered his name. But I looked this recruit in the face. I said, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna lie to you. Series Commander wants you out. I told the Series Commander, you ain't going nowhere. Now, I might end up getting NJP'd. I might get court-martialed for disrespect. But as far as you and me are concerned, you're going to graduate as a Marine. Yeah. And he graduated as a Marine. And I hope, I don't even know his name right now, but I remember that moment where can you imagine if somebody, the different lives that we have out here, the people who are doing prolific stuff, the John Hope Bryants, the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, the Magic Johnsons, the
Stu Maynards,
the T.O. Clays, the Rob Idle.
Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? The Sergeant Major Estradas. Can you imagine had nobody given these cats a second chance or look past their circumstance where their life would be at right now? Where this world would be at right now, better yet.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Man, that's so powerful right there, man. You know, second chances. It's just not, T.O.'s right. Sometimes, we make mistakes. We go down, areas that we shouldn't be messing around in and gray areas or whatnot, and we get held accountable. But after that accountability has taken place, after the individual has taken ownership for whatever the situation is, at what point does the outside judges start pulling back and the mentorship start?
But let me say something that's more poignant. It primarily happens to men. Women get second chances all the time, no matter how screwed up they might be. Somebody's always coming to their rescue. But a man will have that stigma over his head as long as people are there to talk about him. I don't care what. Ali Sadiq, I love that guy. His comedy is awesome. He comes on but what I love about him, he goes back to where he came from. He goes back to the prisons and do what he tells him. Look, man, I did it. I can come out of here. Yeah, you can too. You can. Absolutely. This ain't who you are. This ain't your life. You made a mistake. You got to pay a consequence. When you get out here, there's life after prison.
Charles S. Dutton style.
Yeah.
I
will push back a little bit. I don't think it's gendered at all.
You don't think so?
Absolutely not.
Well, you might have a point. I'm not going to say it's not, but primarily men are stuck more with a
stigma.
A stigma than women are. I'm not going to say it doesn't transpose over to women, but primarily, if you had to look percentage-wise, men have that. Years and years ago, you made a mistake. Okay, well, 30 years ago doesn't equate to right now.
As soon as you think about Paul T. Archie, what do you think of? And I love him wholeheartedly.
One incident. The reason I push back is because there are a lot of sisters ethnicities who have been incarcerated.
Yes.
And because their stories of redemption don't get as much attention as ours do on as a male, I think that could be really underrated. And I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Out in California, some of the female prisoners are employed as firefighters. They go through the training, and then when wildfires break out, they use those female prisoners to fight fires and do that kind of stuff. Right, doing great work. They get released from incarceration, go and apply to be a firefighter. Then the same thing that happens, you're a felon. We can't hire you to work in your local fire department. Like, what? And that's just a small example of what I was saying. So I want to make sure we're careful about not making it a gender thing. I believe it's a people thing.
You're right.
People
Yeah,
are so judgmental and hang you and not ever let you get away from the transgression that you committed, when every one of us commits transgression.
Absolutely.
It's
and a lot of times we're more quiet about it as men too. You know, women are more receptive to being nurtured when the olive branch is extended. A lot of times men, nah, man, I'm good, I'm all right, I appreciate your support, brother, but they don't really open up and take the help a lot too. So the second chance is received a lot later. A lot of times, if you want to throw gender on it, I think it has to do with individuals more than it has to do with I think you're right more about the whole thing. I think both of y'all are right.
Yeah.
I think
there's a lot of truth in it. Yeah, there's a lot of truth in that as well, because you know what? There are some amazing women out here who have had mistakes in their lives, and whether it be from a lack of wisdom, a lack of maturity, or just a lack of not nobody being there for you, have to try to figure out on your own. Because when you have to try and figure it out on your own, you make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah,
man.
Some of those mistakes can be detrimental. Some of those mistakes can be very serious, but it's not non-redeemable.
That's right.
Absolutely, man.
I'm gonna pull in a second. I'm gonna pull 2 books for my bookcase, both written by female authors who served time in prison. One is a woman that I grew up with, and her story of redemption from the time she spent in prison to the work that she's doing right now, and the fact that I know her, that's why I said I don't want to go down the gender line, because her story and her redemption story and the trials and tribulations and walking around with that cloud over her head for a number of years, it's the same as if a male had done the same thing that she was convicted of and served prison time for. Same cloud, you know what I'm saying? But I'll pull it in a second. I'm gonna switch gears real quick. You talked about your the time you were a drill instructor, right?
Yep.
Bro, I read this line, and there are only a few people in this world who would really resonate with this line. This is on page 68, right? You said, "My first cycle nearly broke me." I don't know a drill instructor who has gone through DI school, went to the 1st platoon, and didn't nearly get broke, right? Mentally, physically, I mean, you name it, it is freaking hard. You said, "I started at 185 pounds and ended at 135 pounds. I felt like I was talking in that sentence. Because my first cycle, I started at about 195, went down to about 140.
Oh yeah,
in 13 weeks. And if the prior drill instructors read that line and they hear that story, everybody be like,
man.
And if they didn't, they're lying.
We all came around the time when the changing of the guard was happening. We came through. I definitely know Rob came through. Him, who was it? I think. Dang it, my brother. It ain't gonna mess up the name. Anyway, the drill instructors who were seniors, series gunnery sergeants at the time, and even company first sergeants were on the drill for at a time where hands-on was accepted. It was still there. And they trained, I don't care if you graduated DI school, they would tell you, we train recruits and drill instructors. What?
Yes.
I said, wait a minute. I've already been trained. No, sir.
I made it, sir.
No, sir. I remember I came on deck and I was 30, bro. My mouth was so dry. The white was making my lips stick together like it was glue. And I knocked on the senior drill instructor's hatch. And he, the drill instructor. I say, hey, boss, can I get some water? That joker slid out a canteen to me and shut the door. I was like, what the hell?
Boom. Man.
Listen, at that moment, I knew it was different. First battalion, I ain't taking nothing away from anybody else's battalion, second or third. When you driving a train of 97 plus recruits, dog, as a third hat, not a fourth hat, not a fifth hat, as a third hat.
Yeah.
I only had 3 hat teams my entire time as a drill instructor.
Wow.
My entire time, I've only had 3 hat teams.
Man,
and being a brand new third hat, bro, column of fouls from the right.
Oh man, a mile long. Yeah, oh my goodness,
Hey,
man.
Did you try to? Hey, bro, when they was doing the not a column movement, yeah, column right, and you get that, you go to the pivot point.
Yeah, man.
Bro, you just stand there because you're like,
Pivot
All this extra.
right. That was your break. That was your
Yeah,
break.
man. Happy to just be stopping for once. Looking busy.
Yes, sir.
Hey. Stu Low, I got to jump off here. I have a family engagement I got to get to, man. But I love you, brothers, man. I'm going to get back with you. T.O. had to get to that other engagement jumping on the line earlier. Man, I love you, Lomax, man. Your chapter's awesome. Stu, thank you for jumping on, man. And I'm going to chop it up with y'all a little bit later on, man. It's good seeing y'all, man. Peace.
All right, man. Same to you.
Thank you.
That's crazy, man.
What company were you, Lomax?
1st Battalion Alpha Company.
So I'm an Alpha Company recruit.
Okay.
Platoon 1127.
Now I'm gonna tell you something. So I was a 1st Battalion recruit in San Diego.
Oh, wow.
I don't know you if you know that. What was your MOS?
Maintenance admin 6046.
My senior drill instructor was at my retirement ceremony. Master Gunnery Sergeant Middlebrooks.
Middlebrooks. Not familiar with the name.
Bro, Middlebrooks was probably 125 pounds wet.
Wow.
As a staff sergeant when he was my senior drill instructor on San Diego. And I promised, I said, if I become a drill instructor, when I became a drill instructor, I was going to go back to Alpha Company. And I was supposed to actually go to San Diego, but mid-flight, my orders got changed. And it was around that time, I don't know if you remember this, when there was an incident, I think it was on Paris Island, where the hat had popped a can of off in the gear locker.
Yeah.
And he IT'd those recruits in there.
Yeah.
That's how I ended up on Paris Island. because they had relieved a whole series, and any new drill instructor that was coming got rerouted to Paris Island. And I'm glad that I did.
Wow. You know, the environment down there is so unique. And I always said when I read the RTO, the recruit training order,
yep,
every rule in there, I can pretty much say I know who did that.
That is crazy.
Which is why this rule is in place. You remember, and you came through DI school a couple of years after I did, but it wasn't the RTO. It was some other, I forget what it was called.
Something else, yeah.
But it evolved into the RTO. And then the RTO, I'm reading through all these things, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know who did this, I know who did that. And it had to literally be spelled out because of incidents like the one you just talked about.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
most of the former drill instructors, we can all think of an incident where you're like, oh yeah, I know exactly what happened, when it happened, and why we can't do it no more.
I got a page or a chapter in the RTO too. I'm not even playing with you. I do. I sure do. I was like, man, yeah, bro.
Wow.
But you know, again, I say this with all sincerity. There is never and has never been anything in my life, good, bad, or indifferent, that I regret. I have no regrets because God allowed me and continues to allow me to go through things, whether good or bad, because whatever he has for me is bigger than my vision can see.
That's right.
And I have accepted that no matter what, my faith and my trust is in you, God. It's not in man, it's not in the system, it's not in people, it's in him. And that is taken nothing away from anybody that I call family or friends.
Yeah.
But ultimately, nobody can save me when it comes to being judged under the heavens.
Wow. And brother, somebody out there needs to hear that, because God is the ultimate judge. Whether you call God Buddha, Allah, Yahweh, it don't matter. Yeah. There is a creator out there who reigns over us all.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And we gotta believe that we gotta have faith that we live in a world with a merciful higher being.
Absolutely.
Because had it not been for grace and mercy, where would I be?
Where would any of us be?
Where would any of us be? Man, bro. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate the honesty, the vulnerability, your contribution to the book, because somebody going through a scenario will relate to your story. Somebody will think their world is ending because they made a mistake, they were convicted, found guilty of the mistake, and there is no recovery after then. But you are a living example of redemption. That was the one word I thought about when I read your chapter, redemption.
Yeah. I think that redemption came more from a heavenly place than it did a secular place. And again, Stu, I'm not anybody who knows me know I'm not no Bible thumper. I don't walk around here. Truth be told, I don't even go to church, bro. And I'm gonna tell you why. I don't see the genuineness in I'm not gonna say there's not any. But predominantly, most of the places I've seen, places and institutions that call themselves churches, for what a church really is supposed to be, and I'm not no judge, but I can say I cannot associate myself with a place that don't take care of its people. You are supposed to be a shepherd. It is not a place for you to gain your riches and your wealth. Take care of the people and their spirits. That's your job. Yeah. If they bring in something, all the mothers who have been there for 20, 30 years, all the deacons who have been there for 20, 30 years, they should all be on the same level as you.
If you really about that work.
Yeah, if we really gonna talk real, because again, what does it say? It said the heavens rejoice when somebody is saved. The heavens, not heaven with an N, the heavens with an S rejoices. So if the heavens can rejoice when somebody is saved and when somebody has a success, why can't your people do it?
Yeah.
Why they gotta hate on you because you've gotten to a place that God has brought you to after your patience, after you had to sit and wait. Bro, if you make it to be a millionaire right now, Look, if you say, hey, Lo, we all wearing tutus and pom-poms to me becoming a millionaire, bro, tell me what color I need to wear. Tell me where I could go get the pom-pom, because I'm coming. And we're going to celebrate you because you did that. I'm not, and it's not up to me and say, hey, bro, can you, cracking out? Can you give me a handout? But no, my next thing is, how did you do it?
How did you do it?
Show me.
Show me the one.
How did you show? I'm not asking you to give me nothing.
That's right.
Show me the way.
Wow.
That's it, man. And my whole goal with anything that I put out and anything that I've said to any brother that's out here, if you don't know the way, look within. Look within. The God that breathed life into you, he put his spirit into you. You look within first before you look outward. Your strength is in here first. I used to tell my recruits, I said, I don't care if it rained fire and brimstone from the sky, and it burned all the flesh from my bones, my skeleton will still stand 10 toes down because I am a man. And God made me fearfully and beautifully in his image. And I'm not afraid of anything, to include death. If God takes me away from this earth tomorrow, I can say that I lived in my truth. I wasn't afraid of nothing or no man on this earth. And I tried to be honorable and loyal to the God that I serve. And I'm not perfect. I make mistakes every day. At 51 years old, the one thing I can say is I have more years behind me than ahead of me. So I don't have time for no BS right now. I got about 30. Right. I got about 30 years to make up for 50 years of mistakes.
Bro, yeah.
Real talk. I got about 30 years of my life left to make up for 50 years of mistakes. And it should not take us this long. This is no, listen, you don't have to be anybody who believes in spirituality and religion, but your time on this earth is limited. It's a short window, whether you want to accept it or not. Your job here is to be a purposeful person. Make yourself, your children, if you have children, your family members, your friends, your associates, better people because you were in their life.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The path less chosen. Chapter 13.
Man. Yes, sir.
On the Wrist Veterans Edition. Jonathan Lomax, brother, I can't say thank you enough for being willing to be so open and share your thoughts. Yeah. All the insight, what you put out in the atmosphere, making people think. Don't be so quick to judge. And then the redemption story.
Yes, sir.
That was beautifully done, my brother.
Man, listen, Stu, I love you, man. We all make mistakes in life. It's not about what you did, but what will you do afterwards.
There it is. Man, I love you too, my brother.
Yeah, always, man. Let's that we'll talk. And just know that, I'm
gonna get you them books.
Oh yeah. You gotta send it to me. Give me a send me a text link or whatever it is.
No. I'm gonna do it now. You know that I'm not playing around with this reading game. I'm on it, right? This is a great one right here. It's called
Classroom and the Cell. Okay.
Classroom and the Cell. This is Mark Lamont Hill and Mumia Abdul-Jamal. Phenomenal read when it comes to redemption stories, right?
Uh-huh.
Another great one. And this is one of the ones that I was talking about.
Okay.
Behind Prison Walls. And this was written by I'm not gonna butcher her name, but female some experiences that you and I were talking about.
Move it up. I can't see it. Okay. Covales G. Hodges. Okay.
Yeah. And I might have to dig deeper in my collection. This book right here.
25 years. 25 years to my life. Wow.
This young lady, shout out Latricia. I've known her my entire life. She is a phenomenal person.
What's her name?
Latricia Gibbs. I don't want to do her. Latricia Gibbs Tolbert. Latricia Gibbs Tolbert. This is a story of redemption. Somebody who did something and has a redemption story, and the work that she's doing now is beyond belief. This is an example, just like you are, that somebody can make a mistake and be and have redemption.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know her because she's from my hometown. She's from Folkestone, Georgia.
Okay.
Yo, this
shout out to GA.
Bro, this really touches my heart because it's story like this, and that's why I said, wait a minute, I don't want to make it a gender thing, because sisters like her are going through the same foolishness with people not wanting to forgive her and always looking at her a certain type of way because of something she did.
And you're absolutely right.
I paid my price. When is that going to be enough?
Yeah.
Shout out to folks in Georgia. Latricia.
Absolutely. Because we know a thing to be true is that we got people in places of authority right now that have a longer rap sheet than most of us.
Let's leave it right there.
And I'm done with that.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. Thank you all for tuning in.
Love you, man.
Love you too,
shout out to all of my brothers that was on there: Rob Lido, T.O. Clay, Stu Maynard, Eddie RC, who came through. Man, and my family was in here too. Nanita, that was my relative over there. It was one of my cousins on here.
Awesome.
She had chimed in, so I appreciate that, man. Listen, if there's one last thing I can say is be good to yourself, be real to yourself, be honest with yourself, because that's where you will begin to see your truth. You have to look within. Your truth is not out here in somebody else's opinion. It's not about how other people see you. Your truth resides right here. You see what I have on right now? I wore this for a reason. It's because we have years of this that has gone on. And I know psychologically it's ingrained in some of us. We see what has happened and we don't want to become a part of that. But here's the truth fact. Somebody took an L for us. Somebody to be doing this right now. Somebody took an L for us to be able to do this.
That's right.
There's gonna be somebody in the future that we're gonna need to take an L for too. And hopefully the things that Dr. King never saw the fruition of his speeches, of his marches, of the work that he put in. That was for us to see. And so something that we're doing right now, hopefully it helps another generation, another group of people years later after we're gone from this earth, dog. So with that, I'm done, man. I love you guys.
And that's the importance of documenting our stories. And this is one small example of how documenting our stories, knowing that it might not help today or me tomorrow, but it's going to help somebody in future generations. Love you, my brother.
Love you too, man. Peace.
All right, love. Out.